Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Rachakudash, to honor to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders, a great millstone, peace and blessings to the whole free collective tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, to I say, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. All right, just going to get into a little quick hit here, playing the waiting game, but this was on my spirit earlier. I got pissed off about something earlier. Yeah, just thinking about this place being destroyed. You know what? Yeah, well, let me get that. Because I should probably get something from Jeremiah. But this is a good one to read here since I'm already here in Revelation 18. Let me just pull it up. I'm going to read this. I might read the NLT. Let's start right here at verse 14. The fancy things you love so much are gone. They cry. They is talking about these other nations right there, all these deals. They bring all their goods over here in the ports on those shipping containers and those crates, or even these foreign nations that have companies that are here. All right. Some even just live here, period. All right. Not just have companies here and have, workers here, but they actually live here and so on and so forth. Okay. And a lot of that business is churned off the backs of the Israelites. All your luxuries and splendor are gone forever, never to be yours again. The merchants who became wealthy by selling her these things will stand at a distance, terrified by her great torment. You see, those that when you go up, above verse 14, back up 13, 12, talks about all those things which equate to different companies and businesses, all right, that produce a flow of currency, all right. It says, the merchants who became wealthy by selling her these things will stand at a distance, terrified by her great torment. They will weep and cry out. All right. Her great torment is talking about America being destroyed with nuclear missiles. All right. This is what we long for. Okay. Because when America is destroyed, we're definitely released from our captivity. All right. Because all these things, these end time prophecies really prompt Yahweh Shah's return, and they coincide with salvation, victory to the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, because when America's being destroyed, he's going to beam up his elect from America, all right, out of this place, Babylon the Great. But he's only going to do that deliverance once. So he's also going to grab other individuals from around the earth, like it says in Isaiah 11. All right, let me get that real quick. I'll come back over here. And let me say, if we stop abruptly, just know it's because I'm sort of on the clock here. Like I said, I'm playing the waiting game, but I want to jump in here while I was waiting. So yeah, Isaiah 11:11. In that day, the Lord will reach out his hand a second time to bring back the remnant of his people. Not all the nation of Israel, not the nation of Israel and the heathen nations. Israel only, and amongst Israel, the elect, beginning with the 144,000 men. That's it. Okay? The Lord's not coming to hug and love everybody except for the elect. All right? It says, those who remain in Assyria and northern Egypt, in southern Egypt, Ethiopia, and Elam, and Babylonia, Hamath, and all the distant coastlands, he will raise a flag among the nations and assemble the exiles of Israel. See? So, and yeah, because of those Israelis or the people of Israel, then how are they exiles? You can't be exiles if you're already in that land. Doesn't add up. Doesn't something's off there, okay? So it says he will gather the scattered people of Judah from the ends of the earth. Okay. Then at last, the jealousy between Israel and Judah will end. There will not be rivals anymore, because when the northern and southern kingdom split, they were doing a lot of beef. All right. So let's go back. So it says, how terrible for that great city. Talking about Babylon the Great, America the West, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. She was clothed in finest purple and scarlet linens, decked out with gold. Now, in the top of Revelation 17, in particular verse 5, it talks about, pretty much the matrix. All right. John was it with the matrix, the woman in the red dress. And that's what he basically saw. Not saying exactly a blonde woman in a red dress, but just that example there. Yeah, John saw a blonde in a red dress. But, so no, as I was saying though, he was seeing Babylon the Great. Because mind you, John was seeing the future. All right, and what was to come. All right, he didn't know exactly when that future was going to come, but he was seeing the future. Okay, so Babylon was seen as this beautiful woman, all right, who was really filthy though. Okay, how terrible for that great city. She was clothed in finest. Also, on the other hand, though, just going into what we mentioned up above, these businesses and things of that nature that they have. All right. So yeah, she was clothed in finest purple and scarlet linens, decked out with gold and precious stones and pearls. In a single moment, all the wealth of the city is gone. What's that single moment? Boom, 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 boom. Missiles dropping, and all the captains of the merchant ships. See the merchant ships. All the captains of the merchant ships and their passengers and sailors and crews will stand at a distance. Why? Because after the war takes place, they're going to draw their men back because now it's time to drop the bomb. All right. And you drop the bomb on me, baby. It's time to drop them bombs. All right. Drop the missiles. So they got to withdraw their troops. Okay. Bring them back home. Okay. Hell, depending on how fast it happens, some of those troops may not even make it back home. They might be on their way back home and the missiles drop. Okay. Depending on when the missiles fly. But anyways, because Babylon will get war ravaged like these other nations you see on TV. You see Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Gaza Strip, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's how America's going to look. It talks about in Jeremiah where he's going to fill them with, like, let me get it, okay? You know, I ain't the best with my words. I'm trying to get it out. Let me just get the scripture. Caterpillar. Let me get that. Okay, so maybe caterpillars. All right, so you just want to play games. Fill how's it worded? Filled with men? Something like that. See if I can find it. There it is right there. Jeremiah 51:14. Yep. Jeremiah 51:14. Okay. Let's check this out. Let's start right here. 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right. Oh, I was always reading the NLT. We'll come back and read it. It says, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures. See, as we were just reading in Revelation 18, right? Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. At the top of that chapter 18, it says that her sins have reached unto heaven. It's judgment time, you see? What's that, Psalm 75, where the Lord says, promotion cometh neither from the east nor the west, or the south, but it pretty much comes from the heavens up above, from the Lord. The Lord he sets up a king, he sets up a ruler, and he brings them down. Okay, it says the same thing in 1 Samuel 2. All right, I make it rich, I make it poor, so on and so forth. I kill, I make alive, and all these different things. All right, the Lord does all these things. Okay, thy end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Yahweh of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Let's see what the NLT reads. Raise up the battle flag against Babylon. Reinforce the guard and station the watchmen. Oh, beautiful, because thinking about when it says guard in Ezekiel 38, it tells Russia to be a guard unto these other nations that are going to join up in this push against Babylon, which eventually is going to include their own allies. Prepare an ambush. Yep. It says how you are subtly taken, something like that. Prepare an ambush, for Yahweh will fulfill all his plans against Babylon. You see, and he tells you in Isaiah 46:10 that he declared these things from the beginning, from ancient times. All right, the things that are not yet done, I declare them from the beginning. Okay, you are a city. Is this me? You see, you are a city by a great river, a great center of commerce. That's not me. We good. You are a city by a great river, a great center of commerce, but your end has come. The thread of your life is cut. The Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies has taken his vow and has sworn to it by his own name. Beautiful, because there's multiple times that said. I'm specifically thinking about Abraham when he says we can swear by no other. He swore by his own name. Wonderful. Your cities will be filled with enemies. There you go. Like fields swarming with locusts. And you know, the locusts, they eat up all the greenery. Okay. They eat up the crops and things of that nature. Swarming with locusts, and they will shout in triumph over you. Oh, and there's another one in Jeremiah where it talks about, I believe it's mentioning Russia. where it says they always might be in Isaiah, not going to regard their gold nor silver, shall not regard. What did I just type in? Okay, there we go. Shall not regard. Isaiah. Yep, Isaiah. There you go. There you go. See, behold, let me get this. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Who are the Medes? The modern day Medes are the Russians. All right. Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. And you know what? On a lesser level, it makes me think about Ukraine. It's saying that we're not going to stop taking Ukraine. All right. If whoever wants to go to war, we're going to war. Okay. We didn't threaten you, but hey, if you want to take it to that level, let's do it. All right. You got the talks of what? Turkey talking about going there to broker peace between Ukraine, and that's not going to sit well with Russia because, as we just mentioned, they're not going to stop. They want Ukraine. Their plans is to take Ukraine. All right. But anyways, we're talking about Babylon the Great. So let's get back on point. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Because when they come over here, they're not going to be looking to make deals. They're not going to come and sit down at the White House or whatever. They're not going to put troops on standby. The troops are going to be in motion. All right. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Okay. And ultimately, I was going to mention that because over here it says the bows, right? But let me read the NLT. It says, look, I will stir up the Medes against Babylon. They cannot be tempted by silver or bribed with gold. And for a long time, they've been wanting to get that get back, all right, at America, okay, since the Cold War and before then. The attacking armies will shoot down the young men with arrows, all right, because they're probably gonna bring choppers over here. They're probably gonna bring warships to the borders. They're probably gonna drop tanks off, probably swim tanks over here. However they're gonna do it, possibly, all right. But there's gonna be rocket shot, missiles shot, and ultimately nuclear missiles, right? Attacking armies will shoot down the young men with arrows. They will have no mercy on helpless babies. They will have no mercy on helpless babies and will show no compassion for children. And this is specifically just towards the little ones alone. All right. But Ezra tells about the men and the women. It says the men are going to die in the war, or they're going to die from the starvation. And then it says the women shall mourn having no helpers. All right. Their daughters, having no helpers. All right. Because they died in the war, died in the famine. All right, so the scriptures cover all of that. Babylon, the most glorious of kingdoms, the flower of Chaldean pride, will be devastated like Sodom and Gomorrah when the Most High destroyed them by fire. All right, the neighboring cities as well. Babylon will never be inhabited again. It will remain empty for generation after generation. All right, let me get some more of this. All right, nomads will refuse to camp there, and shepherds will not bed their own sheep. And the KJV says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Desert animals will move into the ruined city, and the houses will be haunted by howling creatures. Owls will live among the ruins, and wild goats will go there, all right, to dance, all right? All right, I guess I'm going to clear now. Okay, so let's go back. Did we read that? He hath made the earth by his power. Oh, actually, we don't have to read that. We read that. Yep, this is all we needed there. Okay, I want to get that where it says, fill thee with men as with caterpillars. Okay, and we go back over here. It says, in a single moment, all the wealth of the city is gone. All right, when the troops done their thing, they're going to leave out so the missiles can fly. Okay, and all the captains of the merchant ships and their passengers and sailors and crews will stand at a distance. They will cry out as they watch the smoke ascend, and they will say, where is there another city as great as this? See? Great place of commerce. And they will weep and throw dust on their heads to show their grief, which is an old ancient, custom that people would do. And they will cry out, how terrible for that great city. The ship owners became wealthy by transporting her great wealth on the seas. You see? The shipping containers, right? All these countries bringing in their product over here to sell it in America, and then, transfer the funds back home. Okay? And then they also make money off their own economy of people. In a single moment, it is all gone. But America's a big place. America's a cash cow. Okay, rejoice over her fate, right? Rejoice over her fate. This is what I want to get down to, this main verse right here. Rejoice, rejoice over her fate, O heaven and people of the Most High, and apostles and prophets, for at last the Most High has judged her for your sakes. KJV says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. Okay, there you go. Matter of fact, let's read this to the end. Yeah, let's read that. Then a mighty angel picked up a bronze boulder the size of a huge millstone. He threw it into the ocean and shouted, just like this, the great city Babylon will be thrown down with violence and will never be found again. All right, he says he's going to stretch upon it the line of confusion, right? The sound of harps, singers, flutes, and trumpets will never be heard in you again. No craftsmen and no trades will ever be found in you again. The sound of the mill will never be heard in you again. The light of a lamp will never shine in you again. The happy voices of brides and grooms will never be heard in you again. For your merchants were the greatest in the world, and you deceived the nations with your sorceries, all right? And when this place is taken down, that's it. It's melted off the map, man. That's it. It says in your streets flow the blood of the prophets. You see, that's why it says rejoice, because this is a payback. All right, we should be happy. We shouldn't be looking for no 1,000 years or looking to build longevity here. All right, because that means that you're not in tune with Yahweh Shah returning. Okay, if you want longevity here, that means you're not in line with Yahweh Shah returning to cut this place short, so we can establish the kingdom of heaven where you actually be free. Okay, where there'll be time no more. I mean, imagine not having to wake up and be here and be there. You got to scramble to court. All right, you got to do this, do that. No, it says the saints shall be joyful in glory. They shall sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. So he has to give vengeance upon the people and vengeance upon the heathens and judgments upon the people. Okay, to bind their kings with chains in the nose with fetters of iron. This honor hath all his saints and the saints of the children of Israel. See. So imagine that. This is what we look forward to. All right, the destruction and downfall of this wicked place and our enemies, and to take these heathens into captivity, man. Okay? It says the Babylon, it will be thrown down with violence and will never be found again. All right. So finishing this off, it says, in your streets flow the blood of the prophets and of the Most High's holy people, and the blood of people slaughtered all over the world. All right. So I'll just give a little quick hit in there. So, just probably on the downfall of this place. And taking a little frustration out on Esau. All right, on this wicked place, Babylon the Great. But it's all good. All right, we got a little quick hit in there. So Lord will leave you edified. I'm gonna say shalom.